Alright, let's finish up this stage. This shouldn't take very long. Yeah. So far so good. We are actually kind of getting through this game at the pace I was hoping we would. We should easily be able to finish this game in one stream then. Yeah. Again, I have so many memories of playing this game. It had split screen too, so I did play with family a little bit, though frankly that's another thing I feel kind of like not great about, to be honest, because like I have a lot of family issues, which I'm not going to go into detail on stream for obvious reasons, but it is the case of it's kind of a mixed feeling. It's a bit complicated, the emotions I feel about this game, and also the Star Wars IP as a whole, because of associating it a lot with family. It's just all very like complicated, and thus yeah, I still consider this like a favorite from the sense of this game definitely was one of my most played games as a kid, and definitely also led me to discovering so many other games, but why I'm a little bit iffy on the game itself in the current age. The PS2 was a great investment though, like for like a sudden like I want to play this one video game, so I'm gonna buy a whole ass console for it. Like that is not smart. However, it paid off from the perspective of oh, that's Yoda talking. I didn't even notice because it's so quiet. So this is fun. This is our final stage of the Clone Wars campaign. It's Kashyyyk, but it is not based on episode 3. It is a completely original Kashyyyk stage, because episode 3 was not out, and I'm sure game devs did not get any information on the game at this point, because of just embargoes and everything. This has been a problem for Star Wars games for a long time, is not having access to the current movie assets, so they just kind of have to bullshit their way to making a level. Like the idea of a, you know, a fight where the battle droids are like approaching from the sea and everything. It's like that is accurate to episode 3 in a way. Obviously the clone armor is wrong. Yeah, it's kind of interesting getting a little peek behind the curtain at like design processes in a way of like, yeah, they wanted to do this level but didn't actually have the resources to actually do it. So they made a decent level out of it. It's just kind of, again, fascinating to have like a off-brand episode 3 level, basically. What other PS2 games did I really enjoy as a kid? I swear I had some more movie games as a kid, but I can't think of any. Yeah, like I had a pretty decently sized PS2 collection, but none of them are actually coming to mind at the moment. Like, I definitely favored other systems, like in all fairness, but again, I genuinely can't think of the games I'm thinking of, which is a shame. So yeah, we're just gonna sneak over here and take their main command post, because I can. Also, you can actually duck in this game. I should probably be doing that more, so I don't get sniped as much. There we go. I think the big command posts like this one do take longer to capture, because they're kind of like the main staging ground. At least I think that's the case. Oh yeah, you can also go prone in this game, but you can't in Battlefront 2. So again, in some games, in some ways this game is a little bit more like competitive, quote-unquote, in terms of like having more features like that. But again, Battlefront 2 almost feels a little bit more arcadey, and I feel like that also applies to the original versus, to the EA game versus Battlefront 2 EA. That's a game I actually have a lot of good memories with too, actually. I used to play it a bunch, but then they cut support, and thus I kind of lost interest. Yeah, I'm stuck infinitely reloading, so this is fun. Oh, looks like they finally stopped. Ow. I don't know what the game plan is here, to be honest. I don't know what the game plan is here, to be honest. I don't know what the move is. 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 I feel like a lot of these stages are just kind of like the strategy is to just hurl yourself at like the enemy and hope you end up winning encounters, because it's like it doesn't feel like there's very good strategies for a lot of fights in my opinion. The stage is also annoying just for clearing out enemies because they get stuck in the water sometimes. Like they'll get like stuck between the stairs. And it's really hard to figure out where they are because they're just like hiding in these little cracks. Or like the little sections between the docks, basically. God, vehicles don't control very well in this game. I'm doing my best here to try to steer this thing, but it's going. It sure is going. But yeah, if we're talking about pretty PS2 water, this is pretty good water, I would say. Ow! What even happened there? I just saw the screen go like orange and then it blew up. Again, I swear there's just so many games I discovered because of this console, and I'm blanking on all of them. A lot of them were licensed, to be fair, like there are Star Trek games in there. I do feel like Star Wars in general is a series that is kind of in the same boat of like, I don't know if I'd be the person I am today if it wasn't for Star Wars, but I also still don't really feel great about Star Wars anymore. But like, I don't know if I would have gone into sci-fi as much, period, if it wasn't for growing up with Star Wars, because I do really like sci-fi. I tend to be more into Star Trek than Star Wars. I tend to be more into Stargate than Star Wars, to be fair. I just feel like Star Wars is very, like, political focused for the prequels, and also very, like, character focused in the original trilogy. And that's why the original trilogy works more for me, because it feels like the prequel trilogy went more plot oriented in a way that just kind of loses me. Because I'm one of those, like, the way I think about media is I will not care about a story if I don't care about the characters. Like, obviously, I want both. I want a good story and good characters, but if I had to choose one, I would choose good characters over good story. Because if I'm invested in the cast of characters, I can sit through a lot, to be honest. A great example, and I say this every goddamn time it feels like, it's Xenoblade. It's like, I think Shulk is extraordinarily uninteresting, and even like his full character arc, I still think he's kinda uninteresting compared to like Rex. Rex kind of feels like the same trope as Shulk, but approached from a slightly different angle to the point where I think he's more interesting. So yeah, I genuinely like 2 more, even though I think 1 has very good plot elements. I don't connect enough with the cast to get as much of an emotional hook out of Xenoblade 1 compared to 2. And then 3 has elements of both games thematically to the point where I think gameplay-wise it's the best of the 3. Story-wise, I think it's really good. Character-wise, I think it is still slightly below 2 for me, because I just really love 2's characters. So yeah, Star Wars is definitely a case of that, where it's like, I actually don't mind the sequel trilogy as much as most, just because I do like the characters for the most part, even though, boy, I wish a lot more of them got anything to do in some of these movies. So yeah, I still kind of enjoyed, like, 7 and 8. 9 is a train wreck, to be fair, because it's so, like, action-focused to me, it completely loses me. Never really gone to sci-fi much growing up, that's fine. In terms of, like, you know, everyone has different interests. But, like, I never got into fantasy that much comparably, so, like, I've never seen Lord of the Rings, as an example. I've never read it either, because I'm not a reader. It's one of those things where I think it might be because I have some form of dyslexia, because I constantly am jumbling words really badly. The opposite, though you also haven't watched Lord of the Rings, oh. But yeah, that's kind of my take on it, where like, I kind of do wonder how much of my frustrations with reading as a kid were just because I could not physically read because of essentially disability. Not just me being a lazy student, basically. Maybe we should play Split Fiction. That'd actually be... I've thought about it, the only problem is money, obviously. Because it's like a full price, you know, main release. But I think that company's games, Hazelight, like, I think Hazelight's games typically have it so, like, there's a free, quote-unquote, version to link to as long as one person owns the game. So only one person would need to own it. If I understand correctly. I also kind of want to play It Takes Two, because that game looks really fun, too. What else? What other PS2 IPs were there? I'm actually trying to think. Like, PS2-ass PS2 games? In terms of, like, sort of quintessential PS2. Like, this game was a huge deal back in the day because, you know, Halo was an exclusive. So, like, this was kind of like the big multiplayer game. When the Xbox Live servers shut down and, like, you know, many years ago, like, Halo 2 was the most played game, and I think Battlefront 2 was the second most played game before the servers got pulled. Like, these games were a huge deal, and for the longest time, these were the best-selling Star Wars games ever. I still am partial to Rogue Squadron, just because I grew up with it, and I, you know, have a lot of nostalgia for it because of, like, being so young when experiencing a store demo of that game. I would have been like 5 years old. It definitely hit different, but there's something about Battlefront that's got like a pick up and play arcadey kind of mentality to it that I think really thrives. Even though again, I've expressed my opinions on the game and the franchise where it's just like, I wish I could enjoy Star Wars again, to be honest, but I don't think that's gonna change. And again, it's not even the quality of the works, to be honest. It's a me problem. Association. I'm really bad about association, where it's like, this could be a great game, but if I have a negative association with it, I can't enjoy it. Like, I think that's part of the reason I've never finished a few games, or like played too much of a few games, just because I associate them with people who are no longer in my life. And thus I can't really get into them now. And like, it is a shame because it's keeping me from playing some really good video games, just because I can't shake an association. But hey, the brain works in mysterious ways sometimes. This is going very smoothly though. I'm pretty happy so far, but the Galactic Civil War campaign is harder. I think it is meant to be done separately, and it's also more of an uphill battle, because you play as the Rebellion during some of the more difficult parts of the original trilogy. But yeah, I've never even seen, like, Andor for Star Wars, and I kinda don't care to. Like, I haven't seen Rogue One, I haven't seen anything other than core Star Wars movies and, like, a season of the Clone Wars. And then, like, some miscellaneous works here and there. Damn, that was really smooth. It's almost like just using the AAT just sped things along really well. But then we should get a cutscene that's very out of order. It should be the final cutscene of... or the final scene of episode 1, so we'll skip that. Then we're moving on to, original trilogy. We have more cutscenes we'll be skipping.
We have discovered a rebel cell on the planet.
It's still Palpatine because, you know, wait, the other one would have been Darth Sidious. Totally not the same character. Take my word for it. This stage also is in Battlefront 2. They just have Mos Eisley in that game. I thought in the console versions there were like tutorial videos explaining, but those may be relegated to somewhere else on PC. Maybe because I already did the tutorials.
We're losing reinforcements.
So now we are the Empire. We have TIE fighters and ATSTs at our disposal. Again, you actually do get the ability to go first person in vehicles, which is not the same as in episode or in Battlefront 2. You just get like a generic like first person mode, not like a cockpit mode. But this is also giving me motion sickness, so I'm not gonna do that.
Our reinforcements have been cut off.
Ow. Good start. This one is also interesting because you have the Tusken Raiders that are like a neutral group. So they just kind of go after everybody, if I recall correctly. They're not targeting a specific side like the Geonosians or the Wookiees. They're just going after everyone. Yeah, this is not a stage that's in any of the other games, which is like a bummer. In terms of the Battlefront series, there's more than just the two main games, which tends to get overlooked a lot. There's Battlefront, Elite Squadron, and Renegade Squadron. So Renegade Squadron is completely unique. It actually has a lot of like character customization for classes, so you get to pick loadouts and everything. But Elite Squadron is interesting because, for all intents and purposes, it is Battlefront 3, as in the cancelled PS3 360 Wii game. However, it's just basically on PSP. So unfortunately, by that, you lose out on the main feature of that game, which would have been ground-to-air combat, or like ground-to-space combat. However, it's just presented as a cutscene instead of like in-game, real-time. But Battlefront 3 is like a holy grail kind of game because it was very late into development before it got shelved, supposedly, and then like I don't think it was ever officially announced, but like trailers started leaking eventually. So the interesting thing about that is builds leaked. In like, I want to say 2019 or 2018, it was a while ago, a dev build of the 360 version was found and dumped online. And it's playable through like modded Xboxes, I think emulation too. But also like like a year ago at this point, maybe less, I can't remember, but either way, a dev build of the Wii version was found. So that was like a huge discovery when it happened. Cause like, I didn't even know it was gonna get a Wii version, but I played it a little bit. It was runnable through a custom version of Dolphin, like straight up. It played like ass, because it was meant for like a Wii remote and nunchuck. So like trying to play it with like an Xbox controller on modern hardware was miserable because like trying to get the motion controls to cooperate. And because dev kits typically are built with more RAM than like final units, it also would not run well for that reason. Like, a regular Wii cannot run the game because of not having enough RAM. So, like, Dolphin needs, like, special settings also to, like, increase the default RAM size and things like that. Every time I hear RAM now, I just think of Valentine, as in Ramlethal. Like, I'm so Guilty Gear pilled at the moment. I don't know what happened to me. Guilty Gear is another series I don't know how to cover for Fox Girls Favorites because I've done most of them already. Because like, Accent Core obviously is my first, X-Art is my return to the series, did that already, and I've played so much Strive on stream, as is. For Strive, I am planning to do Strive for this series. I might just do a Bridget run. I think that's the sensible call, to have an opportunity to talk about Strive in a little bit more Emotional detail. I do not promise a level 9 Kai run. I'm not that good at Bridget. I can do it with Dizzy, partly because Abba's a bad matchup, or a good matchup for Dizzy, and also because, you know, I like Dizzy, and I played her a lot in the older games, so I kind of picked her up semi-quickly, but even then she's very different. I kind of want to do another Dizzy level 9 run, actually, because that was like really close to launch of the character. And since then, I've put like 100 hours into Strive trying to learn Dizzy. So part of me wants to do another level 9 run as Dizzy to see if I have an easier time and like show what I've learned since. Like, this is genuinely a consideration because I want to see how far I've gone, because again, we died a lot in that first stream. I got walled at May, for example, and Potemkin, and I think Ramlethal. And Habbo took like 2 tries at level 9. So yeah, Dizzy inherently has an easier time for our arcade run just because of matchups. But even then, I kind of want to give it another shot just to see if I fare any better. Now that I actually have a better understanding of Dizzy than, you know, in October or November when the character just released. I got an OWO out of Zon, unsurprisingly. We've been definitely hyperfixating over Guilty Gear. Oh, can't show that.
Smugglers from Mos Eisley have escaped with the rebels.
It's been fun, like, bonding over Guilty Gear. Like, I'll be real, it is not something I expected whatsoever. Like, I genuinely did not think I'd be able to get, like, Son into Guilty Gear. And I didn't really try, to be honest. I didn't, like, try at all. Because, like, I'm weird about getting people into the games I like, because I don't want to overhype people. So I just tend to be very cool about it. Like, yeah, I like Guilty Gear a lot, and I'm not gonna, like, be like, oh, you should spend $70 on sale to buy this game that you may or may not like. I'm not gonna do that, because fighting games are expensive. However, and also Aiden bought the game, I'm sure, we still haven't played together. Like, I will try to teach you Guilty Gear. I don't know if I'll succeed, because I'm not great at explaining the concepts, but I'll try. We have Dark Troopers now. They kind of suck in my opinion, because, like, their shot has such bad spread that they're kind of unusable to me. But yeah, it's genuinely been a really nice, like, bonding experience, getting to, like, lab Guilty Gear with Zon. Hi to one guy, welcome on in. We're just kind of making our way through this game. So far so good, we haven't lost a round yet. This stage is in Battlefront 2, basically unchanged. This one, like, has no differences. Some are just ported straight from Battlefront 1 practically. But even then, it feels very different because in Battlefront 2, the camera is pulled back way farther, I think. So it gives a very different energy. Like, it feels smaller because the camera's not zoomed in. People talk about this with Sonic a lot, where it's like, certain Sonic games have the camera pulled really up close to Sonic, and it makes stages feel a lot faster and, like, more intense because you don't have as good of a field of view. So it makes everything feel a lot more, frantic. But then you have, like, Generations, for example, that, like, levels are... the cameras are pulled back a little bit, so even the same set pieces have a very different energy to them. I was gonna say, it's like, if Cantina music is playing, we might have a problem. In Battlefront 2, there's also a heroes versus villains mode where you can just kind of free pick hero characters. That's like one of the highlights of Battlefront 2. Yeah, no, there is Cantina music, so I'm just gonna keep talking. Yeah, the fascinating thing about Guilty Gear is I fell out of it for a long time, partly because I had it on PS3 and then my PS3 controllers all broke. I blame me getting into BlazBlue and Guilty Gear at the same time, and Persona 4 Arena, as why all my PS3 controllers broke within a span of like a month of each other, or like a couple months of each other. Because I was trying to play a lot of fighting games all at once. I don't know if I'll be playing like Tekken Tag on stream, because there is a bit of lore to that, where like friends at the time were super into Guilty Gear and Tekken specifically. So I was like, I want to get into these too, and also BlazBlue. Also Dead or Alive, but I never tried the DOA, partly because I didn't think I'd be allowed to play DOA, if I'm being totally honest. However, I kind of fell out of that friend group for a mix of very complicated situations that will obviously not spill that tea on stream. But I kind of fell out of fighting games for a bit. And then around the time of Strive coming out, I was like, you know what? Everyone's getting into Strive. I want to play Strive. But it's also a full price game. So what I'm going to do is actually buy Xrd, because it was like $15 on sale at the time. So I just bought Xrd Rev 2 on PS4, and just played that for like a week or so, and then it immediately was like, you know what, I'm into this, I'm gonna try Strive. Like, I think I did every arcade mode run in Strive, and like, or in Xrd, because every character has slightly different story elements to them. I think I did every arcade mode in Xrd in the span of like a week or so, or a couple days. Mind you, it was on beginner for most of the characters. However, I did really get into shit, that was not the command post I was trying to pick. But yeah, I really did get into Xrd to the point where it's like, yeah, no, Strive's a safe bet, and then it's like, you know what? This is the new game, I need to get into the new game while people are still excited for it, because then the player base is gonna shrink a bit, because people will lose interest in the game eventually. So I picked up Strive on PS4, and then the rest is history. I also rebought the game on Steam, because oh no, PS Plus is like $80 now, I don't want to pay that yearly if I can buy Strive for like $70. And then not have to worry about paid online. So yeah, basically with like any game not on like Switch, because Switch is like $20. For now, I'm sure it won't be forever. In which case we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But in the case of PS5 specifically, because the online is like $80 now, I will basically buy most games I want to play online on PC. Like, I will deliberately get PC versions. The only problem is now they're getting too big. So for example, Monster Hunter Rise, no, which is the new one, Wilds. That game is a nightmare to try to run on most systems, apparently. So me with like an RTX 3060, I don't think I have great odds of running that game. So I'm just not going to play it, period. Because I'm not going to be able to play it online on PS5, because that's $70-$80 a year. I'm not gonna be able to play it on PC because my PC might explode if I try to run it. So like, I'm just not gonna be able to play Wilds. I haven't played the other two either. I own World and I own Rise, and I still haven't played either just because I keep trying to be like, oh, we should like get a crew together, and we never do. Guess who's bad at planning things? This gal. There are many in the community that would be down. Yeah, I just need to work up the courage to, like, ask. Not me, but you know people. David's been trying to get you into Monster Hunter? Hell yeah. Well, maybe... we should get a Monster Hunter crew going. Hi Darth Vader, I forgot you were in this stage. Again, heroes are invincible in this game, so we just have to kind of avoid him. I'll invite you to the server called the Monhan people. Oh, okay. I'll hit you up on... I'll take you up on that offer in a bit.
We've captured a command
Yeah, it could be fun getting a Monhan crew together. I have another friend group that has a Monhan crew in the works too, and I don't think anything ever came of it. Oh wait, I wasn't part of that, never mind. But yeah, if they don't capture one of our command posts in 10 seconds, they'll lose automatically. There's one person left, so... Wow, they're doing a bad job at fighting this last rebel. It took the whole 20 seconds and they did not take them out. Good job. I think the counter only ticked down to no, wait, they did get them. The counter was already at 0. Alright, so that's Tatooine. Next up is Renvar again. Renvar is an EU planet. I get why they don't use it ever now, because it's just Hoth. The problem is with Star Wars is they have planet repeats a lot, which makes sense, it's a big solar system. However, why do we need so many desert planets? Why do we need so many snow planets? It's a little redundant after a while. But like, in expanded universe terms, this is like a Jedi tomb planet or something. I don't remember the details. It's been a hot minute since I've thought about like the Clone Wars on GameCube. I just remember having to fight like Jedi ghosts or something here. I don't... Maybe Sith ghosts. That would make more sense. I remember being terrified by that. I was a very easily spooked child, to be fair. I was very, very easily scared.
Our reinforcements have been cut off.
That does make me very self-conscious sometimes, looking back at how much of a sensitive child I was. Like, I was just very easily set off by things. I still am, let's be real. Like, maybe I should not pretend like I am not still very sensitive.
Enemy forces have captured a command post.
However, it is the case of like... Even like Star Trek 6, with like... There's one part of Star Trek 6 where there's like a bunch of like aliens are killed. And there's like a shot of like a bloody hallway, and this was like... I couldn't sleep that night. It was like actively like traumatic to me. Like, that's a core memory. So yeah, I never had really good, like, gore tolerance. It's better now than it used to be, obviously. But it's still not, like, great. Yeah, I was a very easily scared kid. Like, I don't think I could have handled Luigi's Mansion as a kid. Like, that's how bad I was. Like, Luigi's Mansion would have been too much. Based on other, like, horror-adjacent works that I got spooked by. I need to stop using that word. If I recall correctly, that has negative connotations, but it's just kind of built into my vernacular in a way that whenever I catch myself saying that word, I'm like, wait, I'm trying not to say that. It can take a bit to unlearn vocabulary that's just become commonplace. Oh wait, I'm not a rebel. I'm a snowtrooper. I need to remember that. Having a very jumpy mom made you a very jumpy kid. Yeah, it's totally fair.
Captured a command post. Their reinforcements have been cut off.
Is there? Yeah, they're down there. I forgot you could go down there, to be honest.
Enemy forces have captured a command post.
What else?
We've lost a command post.
It's really weird what did bother me as a kid and what didn't, to be honest. Like, it's still baffling to me sometimes. Like, what is actually kind of like...
Get down.
You know, what is scary? You're afraid of cats and dogs till you're like 14. Oh wow. I have a story about visiting like a memorial for a relative. 2004, so I probably would have been about like 9 years old at the time. Probably had just turned 9. We're going into this like house where it's taking place. I forget who owned it or what the exact circumstance was, but upon opening the door, the first thing I see as a like 9-year-old is a giant dog that is completely eye level with me because I was always very small as a kid. And yeah, I kind of developed a slight discomfort around dogs, which is funny because like the dog was very nice. Like it was not a threatening animal. But it was like a really big like Doberman or something. And it kind of made me uneasy around like big dogs. And I don't really like small dogs either, to be fair. Dogs in general just make me nervous. You're not a big animal fan, that's fair. I like cats. I just wish cats liked me back more, I think is my issue. You like little dogs? Noted. Yeah, I'm a cat person. I am not a dog person. Noted, because, like, I don't know. I like learning about the things you like, clearly. I'm not saying that for any nefarious purpose, like getting you a dog or anything, because, like, how the hell would I do something like that, to be fair? Yeah. And it's like, in the case of like that, it's like, that's kind of like a support animal, essentially. Your mom would send it back? Oh. Yeah, like, I could go for a support cat at the moment, an emotional support cat at the moment. I definitely would be down, because I could use the emotional support in person. Again, not to vent on stream too much, but given how much I'm going through, how much I was going through it over the last couple days, it's like, yeah, I could really use like a cat or something. Don't think you would have been convincing anyway. Yeah, that's fair. Sometimes it's hard to gauge how bad things are in the moment. Like, there are definitely times, I think, like, for me, like, with transitioning, for example, it basically took me getting really, really bad to convince myself to basically convince myself that this is not an optional thing. My mental health is absolutely degrading rapidly. It's like, this isn't just like a, oh, I can put it off kind of thing. It's like, no, this needs to be done kind of a thing. And yeah, it had to get really bad for me to finally, like, bite the bullet and actually schedule an appointment. That's a whole story in itself. Fun thing, I went to my first appointment to get on the HRT with no sleep, or at most about 30 minutes of sleep, because around 2 or 3 a.m. Well, for one thing, the appointment's in the main city, in a big city where I live. It's not in my actual town, so it's an hour-and-a-half drive both ways. So I had to get up really early. The appointment was at like 8 or 9, so that means having to get up around like 6 or so, maybe 5 or 6, to be ready in time. But around 2 or 3, the water heater started leaking. I could hear water, and it's like, wait, it's leaking. So then like the apartment like assistant manager had to come out and like turn off the water, and then dry out the carpet, basically. And so yeah, I got like no sleep. I also couldn't shower because there was no water. In a way it actually worked out because it took like a long time to actually install a new water heater. By the time we got back from the appointment, it was about 12:30. They were just wrapping up on installing a new water heater, so the timing was actually really good. Like, in the moment, it felt awful, and obviously the lack of sleep was not good. But in terms of like, we would just be kind of stuck sitting around without water for an entire day anyway. So actually being at this like medical facility, you know, there could have been worse days. Again, the lack of showering was the main thing that I did not appreciate about that ordeal, to be honest, as someone who's very much A germaphobe. It's like a bunch of friends were going through things that day too, so I was like constantly checking my phone to make sure. Also, I'm not smart sometimes. Sometimes I'll open like things on my phone that I definitely should not be opening in public. And it's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be looking at this in the hospital, and yet I want to clear this notification out.
We've lost a command post.
What else? Yeah, and then the rest is history. I got an HRT around June. The appointment was in like April, and then I had to wait a month for a follow-up, in which case it ended up being around May.
Captured a command post.
So what that meant was I decided to just hold off and be like, I'm gonna start on June 1st for Pride Month. So my HRT anniversary is very easy to remember, it's June 1st. That also pushed back my streaming plans though, because I was like, I shouldn't start streaming until I know how HRT is gonna hit. So I was actually planning to start streaming around summer and ended up waiting until September just to be on the safe side. By the way, my next appointment is actually on a streaming day, and it's actually my birthday week. So that stream might be delayed or like late that day. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm hoping for good results. They haven't actually scheduled the blood work either, so I'm a little bit worried about that. I'll probably have to contact them over actually getting that in the system. So we're jumping ahead a little bit. We are now in the end of episode 4 with Yavin 4. This map is one of the worst in my opinion. For some reason, this is the stage I always got stuck on as a kid. Like, no joke. It's for a few reasons. Partly it's just very small and confined and very easy to get taken down like little small choke points. But also, for some reason, it just kind of felt like I could never really get much momentum on this stage. This is like one of the reasons I'm electing to play on easy difficulty, just because I might have a pretty miserable time otherwise. The work you do, I always wonder if some of the tests you run are for trans people. That is a very good point. That is a very high possibility, actually. I'm just gonna hide behind this medical droid and hope for the best here.
Captured a command post. We captured a command post.
Damn, we're actually doing pretty good here. Yeah, I need to actually call, like, not call, but like message my doctor to be like, hey, what's the situation with the blood work scheduling? Because like they want specific things to be tested, so like the order needs to be placed for the blood work, and that hasn't been done yet. So I'm a little nervous about that, to be honest. Partly because I'm just afraid of DMing people. Even if it's like in a completely like medical fashion, I still get nervous about messaging people. Uh-huh. Okay. So far so good. Ow. So far so not good, I just got blown up somehow. But basically, I made a beeline for the command post on purpose to try to set up like a choke point, essentially, that the other characters have to go through to actually get to the main area. So now we just have this hallway where we can just basically like have an easier time. They can go around, to be fair, but I don't think the CPU characters are very smart in this game. So yeah, I have had a lot of interesting medical experiences throughout my life. Frankly, there's a lot of things I wish I had gotten done, but didn't for one reason or another. For example, all my teeth are really out of alignment. Part of it's because of being born with a medical condition that I needed surgery for in my mouth. However, like my bottom teeth are weird, where there's one tooth that's basically shoved behind the other, because all my teeth are slightly too far to the right. And like, the doctors were like, at the time, oh well, we can just take out teeth here and here, and then just use braces to counter correct. And I'm like, why not just move the tooth that's behind all the others? Why take out the teeth next to it? Like, it was really weird, because it would still not fix the problem of my jaw being off-center. Just casually sliding down the stairs. So yeah, my bottom row teeth are still very messed up. My top row teeth are still pretty messed up too. I would probably need a second round of braces at this point. That would require a lot of dental work and expense that I'm not willing to commit to, so I will just commit to having crookedy teeth. I will not be able to have that, like, also my teeth are kind of stained too. I didn't take good care of my teeth for a long time, so they are fairly stained. I also haven't admittedly been to a dentist in about 10 years. So yeah. Part of me wants to get it fixed, but I mean, I'm not gonna be like a K-pop star anyway, so I'm not gonna be like, you're also on the bad teeth train, hell yeah. I guess maybe I just get jealous, because I'm like, I look at a K-pop artist and it's like, oh, her teeth are so nice. I wish I had nice teeth. I wish I had a lot of things, to be honest. Like, their faces are so symmetrical. My face is very symmetrical, like, asymmetrical, like my eyes are slightly off level from each other. And also one is slightly farther from the center of my face than the other. My face in general kind of just curves at an angle. Like, my features are just kind of like, they slope, they kind of, yeah, it feels like my head shape is slightly angled in a weird way. But I do not want to commit to getting, like, plastic surgery or anything. That sounds like a nightmare. He's like, I'm beautiful. Aw, thank you. You can't tell, but I'm doing the little, like, keep up aegyo thing with, like, the hand under the chin kind of a thing.
But several Imperial garrisons escaped the blast, and their escape pods have crashed.
So we're remembering they have thousands of dollars. Yeah, that's the other thing, is they have access to a lot of things that I do not have.
Before our celebration can truly begin.
So that stage is only DLC for Battlefront 2. This one is in the base game for 2. Like, I keep looking at one artist in particular and being like, I want her entire wardrobe, basically. Because I just wear t-shirts, basically. I want to dress slightly, I want to feel prettier in terms of, like, how I dress myself, but that costs money. Me wanting to be like, oh, coffee.com/Fox. But yeah, please do not feel pressured to donate money to the stream. Frankly, most donations to the stream will go more towards, like, stream expenses. The suggestion of a custom VTuber model has been tossed out if I raise money. But then there's also just, like, you know, keeping equipment maintained. Like, you know, if I need a new capture card if this one dies, it'd be good to have money in the bank to like, be able to replace it. And also just, like, you know, if you want to donate to, like, I have a Throne account, I guess you could suggest games for it. But, like, if you just want to just donate money and I can just pick it up myself, that's also an option. Yeah, like, in general, donations and funds for the stream will go back into the streams. At least that's the hope for the time being, because I don't really have a lot of outside expenses that cannot be covered elsewhere. I don't know why I'm talking about my finances during Star Wars Battlefront, of all games. Yeah, genuinely no pressure to donate at any time. Completely optional. but appreciated if you decide, hey, I want to support this nerd on the internet. Like, I still don't even know what my stream vibe is. Like, I just kind of yap, I think, is my vibe, is I just keep yapping. Ow. I don't even... Oh, hi. I didn't even see them. Oh, hi. You dig chill yapping time as you play a game? Yeah, thank you. Again, at some point I would really like to do co-com streams, but again, I'm not quite ready to set that up yet. Eventually, though. Again, I still need to get my, like, Discord server set up. It'll be a private server, essentially. As a heads up. I don't know if it'll be totally invite only or what. That requires DMing people to invite them, and that is scary. So, therein lies the problem of me having anxiety. But I also don't think I have the energy to run, like, a public Discord. Cool. Also, you can dodge roll in this game. You can't jump, though. Wait, you can jump, but, like... Jump? If you jump sideways, it'll do a roll. Like, they're not separate inputs. Battlefront 2 makes it so crouch is roll, I think. Which, in my opinion, makes a little bit more sense. Oh, that's a headache. We're not gonna do first-person cam for that. The speeder bikes will just take random impact damage, so I really don't like using them very often. The one nice thing is the two ATSDs are actually hounding the main base, which means we can just run in here and don't have to worry about like an ATSD spawning in. Stormtrooper spawning in, yes, but not an ATSD. And in general, I find the Empire easier to... Well, basically anyone except the Separatists, just because the droidekas are just very annoying to deal with as infantry one-on-one. Like, other infantry one-on-one, not a problem. Also, there's squad commands. I should have been using them this entire time. Yeah, like, my thing right now is I kind of want to just be a variety streamer, which has the unfortunate problem of not everyone is going to be interested in every video game that ever exists. That's just a fundamental aspect of this. So my desire is to create a vibe that people enjoy from me and not necessarily come for a specific game. Coming for the atmosphere, the vibe, and not just because they want to see a cool video game. And thus also, you know, I want to have it so like, you know, people might come for a game but then stick around for other reasons. But again, that's very long term. Also, hi Icy, welcome on in. Thank you for the hydration check. I will get on that right away as soon as I'm not perishing in this game. Also, ad break's about to start again. Once again, right at the end of a mission, we're gonna hit ad break, so it'll just be a very awkward cutoff time. I missed the audio aim of the PS2 version. This is not fun. Battlefront 2, or the EA Battlefront games are also weird because you don't have, like, vehicles and stuff in the environment. You have to, like, manually choose from a menu if you want to use an ATSD or something. Let's do, like, plates or, like, pickups in Battlefront 1 EA. Which is just kind of a clumsy way of dealing with it. I don't really care for that, personally. It takes out the immersion, actually. It's like weird that the PS2 game has more immersion than the PS4 game. But also, that's just kind of EA for you in a way. Company that makes decisions. Oh hey, perfect timing. Hell yeah, we actually got through that. There's only like 3 or 4 more stages too. This is going very smoothly. But hey, ads are about to start. So we're gonna stop here. And then come back and hopefully finish up this game without too much trouble.